Alright guys, welcome to Glowing Firewood. Today's video is going to be answering the question which I've got in a lot of videos, which is understandable. Why are you cutting your firewood so small? So stay tuned and we'll talk about it. Alright, so first things first, before I get started, I got merch out. I got my shirt, I got a hat, really good quality, so make sure you go check that out if you're interested. So the question is, why do I split my firewood so small? So I'm going to start with this piece. So if you have a boiler, you would want something like this, or a little smaller, a little bigger, but not many people in my area have boilers. Not many of my people in my area want this big of firewood. So then you have your next piece, which is still a nice overnighter log, which for a lot of the people in my area, they still don't want it this big. If I was burning and I wanted a nice overnighter, something like this, or maybe even this would be suffice. This is more of your average size firewood pieces that a lot of people give, which is fine. I do mix some big pieces in with my cords of wood, some smaller pieces, but a lot of times it's not more of this, it's actually more of this that I mix in, or couldn't find one that was half this size. So about this log, but a little bit bigger. So the reason I don't put as much big logs as these, or even sometimes these, in with my cords of wood is because a lot of my customers, this, they say is too big. So I do a little bit, about half the size. I don't think I have any logs. And then anything that I'm splitting this size, so pretty much this is my regular firewood. And then anything I'm splitting this size or this size will be for my firewood bundles like this here. I use a Wolf Ridge firewood bagger, and it seems to do a good job. So I like the smaller pieces because they dry faster. So I'll rather have a whole bunch of either this size or half this size for firewood than this size, or even this size. Because the smaller they are, they dry faster. So this piece of wood here is probably a half an inch. This one is about an inch. So I rather split my my bundles for this size and some of this size, because a lot of the people that are getting my bundles, they're not putting them in their house to burn them. They want a campfire. Even a lot of my customers that I get aren't really getting heating wood. They're getting drinking wood. They just want to sit by the fire, sip on whatever beverage that they want, and they don't want logs like this while they're sitting in their fire. They want small firewood pieces, because the smaller the firewood pieces, the more air gaps and stuff you can get in the fire, so the fire burns hotter. And a lot of my firewood bundles, especially, and racks and stuff like that, are going to nearby campgrounds. So people want them, they want to sit by the fire, they want big fires, so they always seem to want the smaller pieces of wood. I've had some customers say they want some pieces. It seems like they don't want the whole load, but they want like a decent amount of pieces this size. I've had a couple that want a couple of them this size, none of these. But it just depends on the customer. If the customer wants, I always split some bigger pieces, some smaller pieces, but if a customer says that they don't want certain size pieces, I try to go with what the customer does. So then these, this is kindling, so sometimes you might see me split some small pieces. This is kindling I got from somebody else. This is American white cedar. But sometimes I'll split, if the log seems to split really well, I'll split some for bundles, I'll split some for kindling. So I set these aside because people like kindling, anything small. Also, stuff like this that comes off my my splitter, people like this. I've had customers ask for I don't think I have a bin, just like a decent bin, or they come with a trash bag and they ask me for this bark. They ask me for that too, because it's great fire starter, and I don't charge them for it. I just tell them bring whatever you want. I can load it in your truck. It don't matter, because all of this is, I don't really do anything for it. So hopefully that answers the question of big firewood, small firewood. But so if you're seeing me split firewood, and sometimes I'm splitting firewood like this and throwing it, and sometimes I'm splitting it down super small or even really, really small, I have several different piles I'm throwing it into. So obviously if the wood is more knotted, has a whole bunch of knots in it, I'll split it into this size and then just chuck it. But if it's like even a piece of wood like this is really smooth, no knots, so I could actually, if I'm splitting firewood, I'll split this down into something like this for my bundles, because if there's no knots and stuff, it's so easy to split and it doesn't tear my bags. So hopefully that answers the question. I mean, I used to have one person that had a boiler that I would give them big chunks or like really knotted up pieces or whatnot, but I don't get much people that actually are heating with firewood that are ordering 3 or 4 cords of firewood. My customers, they want either a third of a cord or they want a full cord, and they're not ordering from me for another 2-3 years, because they just have a fire every once in a while, watch it burn. They're not really heating their house. If I was selling to people heating their house, then I would have to sell a lot more. So hopefully that answers your question. If you want to go check out some of my merch, I got cups, hats, stickers. They're all third-party shippers, so it's not going directly through me. But so it might take a little bit longer to get there. I have stickers, all that kind of good stuff. Hopefully I can get some hoodies up on there soon. I just haven't put them on there yet. And maybe some beanies and stuff like that for as it gets cold. But if you like to go check them out, feel free to go check that out. And I hope this answers the question of why I split my firewood the way I do. So I will see you in another video. I hope it helps. Thanks for watching and have a good day.